arriving to scene right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to talk immediately. No, just if it was so late, just 5:30 before we roll with it. Steel is arriving. I do not know if he's going to talk to us immediately. Sounds good.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, you can see behind me. Just
Hey,
that there's like the entire rec
Go
center.
this way a step and then I'll just go that way. I'll send the cops and the pool is closed.
Yeah. Just like I was going to say, you can see behind me the entire rec center.
Like
Here's go down. I want to know
I was busy. So what?
you're out there just holding it.
Oh yeah, man. It took me a minute.
You ever see
what time are we?
So are we.
He doesn't mind waiting. Yeah.
Steel says that he can wait or he can do it before 5. Come at the station, we have to roll on. I'll call Jeremy real quick.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
I'm so blessed. I've been there twice.
I'd rather wait if you're cool with that.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And the stuff you saw in your textbook. The stuff you saw in your textbook as a kid.
Yeah, so what do we
There's
have
the
to
original
do?
painting.
yeah.
It was awesome.
If you wouldn't mind just waiting for after I get inside.
No worries. After your live stuff.
Alright, so Steel is, we're going to wait till after the 5 o'clock kid to interview Steel. So do y'all have VO or is it just going to be straight live? I thought someone said that they were rolling on.
Yeah. I think so. As far as I know.
Okay. So this is, yeah, straight live without the camera and we'll kind of keep it brief. I'll send you back the script.
On reports of shots fired, I do want to mention that there
We're
is
just going to
a
have to
substation on the property of the rec center, so police say their response was quick.
We're just going to be straight Hey, Chelsea. Yeah, I got you. I just heard someone talk to me. All right, I can. Yeah, Mike, Jessica, we're going to show you exactly what we're seeing right now at this scene. It's still developing, and we're still waiting on the latest information, but we do know one person was shot by police in the area behind me. I'll take, as police are investigating, people who called 911 said teens were firing shots in between the Lincoln Park Pool and Barack Rec Center. One officer returned fire, hitting a suspect. We talked to a witness who heard 3 shots followed by another round of 3 shots. Now, we are still waiting to learn the latest information. FOP President Brian Steele just arrived on scene, and we are about to interview him and get the latest information, and we'll let you know when we know it. On your side, Nick Veland, ABC 6 News.
Here's what we know. Police say they were called to East Woodrow Avenue near the Lincoln Park Pool on reports of shots fired. I will tell you,
Why are you
we're in
shaking
the
your head
police
now?
substation on the property of the rec center. So Columbus police say their response was fast. Police say when they arrived, they saw 3 teenagers shooting at each other, who quickly turned their guns to officers and started shooting at those officers. Officers did fire back. Again, one teenager was taken to the hospital. As you see, more addition, police are still looking for the other 2. Listen to how that mother I spoke to describes the moment.
Oh, is that why you were shaking your head?
No officers were injured. I was just informed that police officials will be giving us a debrief any minute now. The president of the FOP is here, so we will learn that new information. And as soon as we
What's
have
that?
that, we'll
Where?
report back to you.
What?
Local for you in South Columbus, I'm Amy
Where?
Hoffman, NBC4.
That's a garbage bag.
You guys just want to like come in here and then
Yeah.
stand.
Can you call intake and tell them to roll?
They should have been rolling.
I just double check that.
I can put a lob on it. It'd be easier. Hold tight.
We're just gonna
Yeah, that's fine.
figured I'd just come to you guys instead of.
That works.
Looks like my first meal when I get there is pizza and then Lemoyne.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just waiting on my recorder. So I haven't had it yet. I just started, so we're trying to get used to this.
Intake wants to just
Do you mind hooking up?
answer and hang up.
Because I'm connected still, and I gotta move around a little bit. That way you don't have to touch your forearm, right? Of course.
And they get to be tethered in, right?
Yeah.
They get what they get.
Figure it out.
Just want to use a stick, huh? Yeah, that's fine.
You guys all know Pete Casucci, all right, our vice president?
Hey, Pete.
If not, this is Pete Casucci.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'll be out of town next week in Toth, and if you need anything, Pete will be running the show.
All right, good to know. Do you want me to stand up there with them so I'm not in the way?
Oh, you're not in my way.
Okay. I just don't want my head of hair to be blown around. We might need to like. Should we go on that side maybe? This way.
It's Nick, right?
Yeah. How was it at the White House?
It was a great experience. He said
Yeah.
if you like art, it's
Yeah.
like the most
Really?
amazing stuff in the world.
Yeah, I was about to say, DC, I've done everything but the White
It's
House.
insane. All the
Yeah.
books from your textbooks as kids.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
cool.
wow, this is the 200-year-old photo.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready. Let me know you want me to go. All right.
Good. So I'm Brian Steele, BrianSteel. I'm the president of Fraternal Order Police, Capital City Lodge 9. With me is our vice president, Pete Casuccio. You got the gist of what happened today, but before we talk about this event, point your cameras behind me. This is a rec center. This is a city recreation center right next to a police station. Yet miscreants in this neighborhood, in this city, are so bold and so brazen. They're going to fire off gunshots, possibly shooting at one of our officers. Think about the individuals that live on this block. Think about the kids today that are enjoying a rec center, right? Thank goodness that the city invested in special duty officers at the rec center. There was 2 officers there, and they did what our officers would do. They immediately took action. They defended the lives of every children in there. With them and the backup officers went after these individuals, took at least 1 in custody, I'm told. I'm told a gun is recovered. It's my understanding we're still looking for 2 other. This summer has just started, and here we are. And again, at a city rec center in broad daylight next to a police station. Today's miscreant is more bold and more brazen than ever before. Watch this case. Let's see what we do with these juveniles. Do we put more care and understanding into the juvenile, or do we put the community that's being laid siege by these juvenile offenders? Which one's our priority? Please continue to follow this case. I want to see what this judge is going to do. I want to see what the prosecutor's office is going to do. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
So you mentioned juveniles, so you confirm that they are teenagers?
I am told teenagers. I cannot confirm what age. The information I had from officers that responded were they were teenagers. Whether they were 17 or 18, I do not know.
All this is more than 5 times in 2 weeks that we've been standing here having this conversation, law enforcement being shot at. How does it feel right now, speaking for the law enforcement officers here in Central Ohio?
It's deja vu. We take this job, although we all deserve to go home. We understand the dangers of this job. We understand we can be shot at. We understand that, unfortunately, there's times we might have to shoot somebody. We expect, though, when we put handcuffs on a criminal who tries to shoot the police, we expect that they're vigorously prosecuted. We expect that the courts are going to hold them accountable. It is a gut punch when we take these juveniles or adult offenders and we kick them right back on the street with an ankle monitor and a piece of paper that says, please don't do that again.
Do we know the condition of the suspect from where they were shot?
It's my understanding stable. According to the run, I do not know what location.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
City leaders say over and over, Columbus is a safe city. Columbus is a safe city. I don't live in Columbus, but
yeah.
I don't feel it's safe.
What's your definition of safe? I would ask anybody that lives in this neighborhood, hey, at 2 in the morning, will you go out to your car? Do you feel safe? I spent my entire police career working in inner cities, challenge cities. Ask them if they're safe. Ask the lady, how do you feel going to your corner store if you're safe? Again, maybe you're safe in Dublin, maybe you feel safe in Worthington. I guarantee you, right here, these individuals do not feel safe if you ask them. Daylight, next to a police station, and there's still individuals firing shots at police officers. So I would ask your viewers, would you feel safe?
What do you think it says about the current state of the city right now that community members are now telling us they won't go to the pool because of what happened here today?
It is terrible. This is what this pool's for. This is what the Recs and Park Department it's for, the whole design. It's to bring the children, bring the families to your pools. This is such a sock in the gut for these children. And this is starting their summer. How do you think this child's going to feel? Do you think this child wants to come back to this pool? Again, the city invested in special duty officers. Thank God they were there. What if they weren't there? And it's very hard to fill some of these jobs. Not all the pool jobs are filled by special duty. And that's what happens when you're short, police department, right? We're critically short. We have not got the full staffing yet. The chief is doing the best she can. After 2020, who wants this job? It's not lined up. When I took this job after 9/11, there was a line around the block to take this job. When you vilify your police, like has been done, it takes time to bring that back.
A few years ago, we had a string of shooting incidents at city recreation centers and
Yep.
parks. There were safety initiatives taken, special duty officers, cameras. In your opinion, what else needs to be done to make sure this is the last one that
it is, I can't say this enough, it is deja vu. I feel like I'm talking about the same thing over and over and there's no action. Until there's community outrage over the state of this city, and to your point, what does safe mean? So if we have 150 murders and then we drop to 30, is that safe? Are we now having a victory flag, right? I would say you want 0 murders. You're going to continue to have felonious assaults, shootings, and murders if you don't hold violent miscreants accountable. And I think that's where we're failing.
Can you speak to the officers, how they're feeling, the two who responded and ended up having to fire shots back at these teenagers?
I spoke to the officer, and the first thing the officer does is call his or her significant other. And you're sitting there as they're having this phone call, letting their spouse know, hey, I'm okay. You're going to watch the news. How's the kids? These are human. We're all human beings, officers. No officer comes out here wanting to shoot somebody, sure don't want to be shot at. But again, when people say, why do you do it? It's because every single citizen is worth it, and that's why they take those risks.
The two
Yes,
suspects that are out there, are they considered armed and dangerous?
So I can't tell you if all had a gun, if one had a gun, I can't assume. But I would say as a police officer, if there's 3 individuals together and at least one of you are firing in the police, I'll probably say the other 2, I would use extreme caution.
How many people were in the rec center? Was it really crowded? Was there a lot of kids?
I don't know the exact number, no. And again, as you know, I don't speak for the division. The division will be able to give you more details. I'm just out here painting a real picture of what our community's facing, what our officers are facing.
Earlier today, you mentioned, I think you were talking about how the conversation with Shayla Faber went
Yeah.
really well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I met with the prosecutor yesterday, so we'll agree on some issues, we'll disagree on some issues. But the good part is we have communication. I asked a simple question to the prosecutor. I said, do you believe our current system is working? And she said, no. And I welcome you to follow up with that. So there, we agree that there's some gaps in the system that we have to work on. Again, it's not what Brian Steele thinks, it's not what the prosecutors think, and what does the citizen think? Does the community member okay with violent offenders being kicked back out in their street? It seems to me in the last 4 years, with the last prosecutor's failed leadership, in my opinion, which led to a lot of this high crime, wasn't locking people up. We care more about the violent offender's rights than the victim's rights. When we kick a violent offender on the street that has 3, 4, 5 violent offenses, they're not going to stop all of a sudden and become teachers and ministers, right? They're going to go and do what they do, violent offend.
Brian, you know, without knowing the ages of the police officers involved, but an exact age of the shooters, I mean, realistically, a police officer could be firing at somebody the same age as their kids, right?
And it's happened before. I've been on those officer-involved shootings where the officer was even more shook up because it was someone the same age. Yeah, 100%. Nobody wins in an officer-involved shooting. Like I said, we don't give out medals for officer-involved shootings. It is something that it's a very low probability, but a very high impact event. We do the best we can. The division does a great job. We'll get them some help. It's obviously a lot of trauma. We'll get them on a path to come back to work.
Anything else?
Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. No, thank you so much. I wasn't going to spoke to Suchio as well.
I was looking at your face.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to get
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, great. Let me do that. I have to.
Can I go over there, get my water real quick?
What's that?